Well, if I were solving the Rex cube, I'd have to make sure that there's no parity, because remember how I said with the Dino cube, you could flip these two and it wouldn't matter? Here it does. So my next step is actually to start putting centers in to see if the centers are where they need to be. So up, up, down, down to put this green one in. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put this yellow one in here. I wanna put this into here without taking this out, so I'm just gonna move this up, 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 down, down, and then bring it down. So this is in and this is in. Now when I take a look at this, I know there's parity, because with these three in, either these three have to be out or in. I can't have one in and two out. Because I have one in and two out, I know that there will be a parity and this puzzle will not be able to be solved. So what that means is I have to very quickly flip-flop these two, and then everything will be fine. So I'm going to take this down, actually move like this, turn, turn. I'm going to take this and move this into here. So basically this is how I avoid parity on this puzzle. Now I'm not really focusing on this puzzle, but why not? So now I just redo the solve, and the solve is such an easy, quick solve that I don't worry about that too much. Yellow and orange, this goes here. Now compared to how long it took me to do this one, well, you can see why this is such a fascinating puzzle. Anyway, orange and black, which is right here. Black and red, which is right here. Okay, so in the end, I'm back at the same configuration. This is in, this is not. Grab it here, down, down, up, up. So and just to prove that there is no parity with this, I'm going to find my green center, put it in, down, down. So that's okay. This is okay over here. I just need one more. Okay, so this is in, and this is in, which means these next three, none of them are in, which is good. That's what I want. So I'm going to put the centers in. So you can see all these centers are in, so at this point, I stop. Now, in this puzzle, I would go so far as to say I don't need to do that. Why? Because there's only a very specific position. Notice when I was putting these in, I didn't really have much of a choice. As I was originally doing, I think, I want to say, I think it was, which side? Let's say it was this side. I didn't really have any other choice. I couldn't put this here or this here. It's the very specificity of these pieces, shapes, and colors that told me exactly where it was supposed to be, which means that I could not flip-flop. If I tried to flip-flop any edges, like say I flip-flop these two, the rest of the puzzle wouldn't work. So I'm not going to do that step that I did with this. Now I'm going to have to go the next step. So what's the next step with this? I have to start putting in the petals over here. Well, to do the first side, what I would do is I'm going to be taking the centers out, and I put two petals in, then I assemble the three components of the petal and slide it in. So I'm just going to put two petals in, it could be of any of the greens, and then I assemble a center with two petals around it and slide that in. So if I were to demonstrate that here, say I'll find a green. What I want to do is if I move this to here, or move this to here, okay, what I need to do is I need to put a green petal here. So it's going to be this one. Up, up, and then slide this in here. I'm very briefly going through this, but basically what that means is that these two lined up with each other. And now I'm just going to move this into here and then move that back. Up, up, down, down, and then quickly reconstruct that back. So these two are in. Now what I'm going to do is construct the petals in the center together. So these two are already in, so I need to move this in to a green. Well, if I move it here, if the green were here, we'd be assembled. If I go over to here, if the green were here, we'd be assembled. So here's the green here, and I'm simply going to move this into this space here. I don't want to juxtapose it with this guy, so what I'm going to do is just bat this out of the way for a second. Down, down, and then bat it back. So why did I do that? Oh, actually that didn't quite work the way that I wanted it to. Okay, so yeah, I need to move this into here, which I can do. Turn, 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 turn. Okay, so the technique that I use is I move this into here, so these are lined up, then I slide it into here, up, up, down, down, and I move this back. So in that way, that assembles all of these. Now the next two sides that I do is by the same principle. So you can see this is already assembled, but what I want to do is I want to put another one in here first. So I'm actually going to move this over to here so that I put these together. Go turn, 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 keeps these together and move it back. Now it's going to vary depending on what you have, but I want to take these two and move it into here. Turn, 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 turn. I've got these two. This is already assembled, which is good. I'm going to move this down and slide it into here. Turn, turn, and bring it up. Now because I can visualize this so easily, that's why it's going so fast. Now I'll do this one. Assemble 2 orange petals. To do that, I would have to move this. I need to move an orange petal into here. I can do that with this. This down, down, up, up. Kind of 3 cycles these things. Okay. So with that said, I can take this, move it into here, and then bump this out of the way up to here. And then turn it back. Now this is already placed in here. Now I just pre-assemble these. This is easy. Move this in here. This is all assembled here. Now the thing is I can't do much with this because when I turn it here, I have to put it into these slots, but whatever I put in here is going to be, whatever I put down here, because these 3 are going to cycle, it's going to be destroyed. So I can't quite do it like that. I've got to move these out of the way. So what I plan on doing is say move this out of the way here, so that when I move this in, as long as I have one here and one here, I can move this back and not destroy anything. Up, down, down. So because I have that, I can quickly move this back in here and then do my reconstruction, as it were, just like this. So now, down, down. This can come into here, and this can come into here. I'm going to move this in here first. And now I want to move this in, move this out of the way from this yellow one, turn, down, down, and then move this up. So then I have 3. Now, that was a lot of complexity of motion, I understand that, but guess what's going to happen with this when I try this with all my perspectives destroyed? Now, I'm just going to do the first 3 because this is a very different kind of a concept. So with this over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I want to put a petal in here and a petal in here and be done. I can do green and yellow, or I can do green and orange. It doesn't matter. But I want to put them together. So if I were to do the green and orange, well, you know, here's a green and yellow over here, so maybe I'll work on that. I want this to be just by another one that has the green and orange. I'm going to slip that into here, but I have to assemble it first. So which one has, here's a green and orange over here, which is the red piece. So I want to move these two in conjunction with each other. So how am I going to do that? Well, where does this have to be to line up with this? If I move this over here, then it's got to be here. This piece has to be here in order for it to work. So can I do that? Well, can I move this piece to here? And the answer is yeah, sure. I can move it in this way. If I combine these are all the petals of the flower, so to speak. So I'm going to go up, up, down, down. And now this slides into here. So I'm going to go turn, 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 and turn. Okay, so where did the red one go? It's easy for me to get lost. Aha, here it is. Okay, so once this gets in, I want to place it in its spot over here. But let's line these up first. Bang. So these are now lined up, and I'm simply going to move it into here, into this area. So we have up, up, down, down. Now I very quickly bring this back so I don't lose my place. So these two are in, but I've got to get them into here. I can't move it in this way, it'll be upside down, this to here. So I have to back it in another way. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to, well, I can do this. If I get really risky here, well, not really risky, but I'm just going to move this to the side here and now put it in. So up, up, down, down, and I'll quickly get it back before I get lost. So now that's in. So we see that these two petals are in. Now I have to assemble this whole thing. I'm going to find the green and orange. Here's a green and orange, and I have to move it into this and this. This obviously doesn't fit. So there's no parity that's going to happen with this because I can tell where one goes and where one does not go. So I know it's going to be this green. So where do I have to put this green to fit in with here? I gotta put it here. So this green has to make its way to this place over here, right at this area. So actually, why don't I just rearrange them a little bit? Turn, turn, turn. Okay. So this green needs to come into here, it looks like. Yeah, okay. So to get this green into here, I can slide it in using these three. Petal here, petal here, petal here. Turn, 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 and I'll move the green one in here. And the whole time, we've got to be sure that we're not undoing something else that we did. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to turn this in so that this lines up and go turn, 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 and turn, and be very sure to move it back. Okay, so this is in here. I haven't destroyed anything here, so now I have to find the orange. Is it this one? Possibly, but there's another one. There's this one over here. So let's turn this here, and we find, aha, we got lucky. This one fits. So I'm going to immediately go turn, 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 and turn, and quickly get this back, if I can find it. Now let's be careful here. Okay, this has to go with the blue. Okay, so I do have some goalposts. So this is all in, and what I have to do now is slide it into here, which I can do. So these three petals will slide into here and be exactly where it needs to be. So that's up, up, down, down. So now we can see that our first side is assembled. Center with all the petals of the flower, edge, 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 edge. So we've got this okay over here. So now we do the next side. Now what I'm going to do is I like to do all the sides that come together like this. It's just easier to do. But they do have to be adjacent sides. So what I'm going to look at is here. Next we're going to do the green and orange, and since I already have a green piece done, I won't run into trouble deciding what goes where. So I'm going to do this side here now. So I'm looking for the green and orange and line it up with the green and orange from here. So where's the green and orange? Here? No. Green and orange, right over here. Green and orange, so where's the long slab that has a green and orange in it? And that is right here. Okay, so I have to match these guys together. They're next to each other. So I'm going to go turn, 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 and turn. So note my strategy is the same. So now these are available to me, but I can take this and I can move this into here and my green and oranges will match. So I go turn, 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 and turn. And now I turn this back. Okay, now take a look here. This is actually where it needs to be, but it's backwards. Now in this puzzle, there would be no backwards. It could be here, this could be flipped. It doesn't really matter. I can flip these. In this puzzle, it does matter. In a pure X cube, this would have slid in just fine and you wouldn't notice any difference. Here, I gotta flip it. So I might as well do that now just to prevent confusion. You don't have to, but there's a degree of complexity that you don't want to have to deal with all the time. So now what I have to do is I have to back this guy in with the point over here. So now I can just turn it around like this. Turn, turn. And now this guy can just slide into here with a turn, turn, turn. I gotta be careful because when it snags, you could lose your place and not know what you're supposed to do. Okay, so this is in. So now I'm looking for the orange and green with the right colors on each side. Here's an orange and green. I gotta put an orange on this side and a green on this side. Well, which orange? You can see I got a couple to choose from. Well, let's shake it up a little bit. I happen to have both on each side. Now we can use a little bit of inductive reasoning to decide. I think it's this orange. Why? Because you have another orange here. This one obviously doesn't belong with this. Therefore, it must belong with this. This orange probably belongs over here because there's only two, and this one obviously doesn't. So what that means is I just have to move it around again. Okay, so where did I put the other? Okay, so it's right over here, which means that I can just turn this here and confirm that, bang, this is where it needs to be. So turn, 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 and now quickly turn this back. Okay, now we have to find the green. Well, there's only one green left, and it's this one, so I know this is where it's supposed to be. Let's get it away from this. So I'm just going to turn this over to here and go turn, 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 and turn. I don't want to stray too far because I will get lost. Okay, turn this back. Okay, I don't want to make this too complicated, but when it was over here, no, okay. All right, that's actually kind of what I wanted to do. So let's do it again. Turn. What I'm doing is I'm just repositioning this so that I can put it in a better position. I may have to lubricate this puzzle a little bit more. Okay, so in order for this to come in, to here, this green one has to be flipped. This has to turn around. Let's do this. Turn, 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 turn. Okay, that did it. So now I can move this into here and we're good. I don't want this to be involved in that process. So I'm just going to move this up over here and involve these three. Turn, 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 turn. And now I got to move this back so I don't get lost again. And now I have to turn this back. Like so. Okay. See, this is how you can mess yourself up, and I've done that before because there's a couple of turns that I had to do. So now this is all assembled, and I've just got to put it in here. Put it where it belongs in here. So with the green one facing forward, let me make sure I got myself lined up. Okay. Turn, 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 and turn. Now this can go nice and smoothly into here. Turn, 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 and turn. Okay, so this side is done, and now this side is done. What I'm now going to work on is this side to get myself at the same position that I had here. So orange and yellow rather, and the other orange and yellow. So where's the orange and yellow? Here's an orange and yellow. Now where's the slab that has orange and yellow on it? Right here, actually. So, in order to move this in, I have to turn this upside down. To turn it upside down, I don't want to use this one. This one's in the way. So what if we move this out of the way? Yeah, okay, that'll work. So it's these three. So I'm just repositioning right now, and I don't want to lose my orientation, because that will be deadly. And turn. Now, very quickly, get it back. Okay. Very good. So, where were we at? This had to find the orange and yellow, and I set its sail to somewhere else, somewhere far away. Okay, orange and yellow is over here. It was tucked in here, so I couldn't really see it. Anyway, in order to make this fit, orange and yellow, it has to be in this spot. We don't want it there. Or alternatively, this spot over here. So I want the orange and yellow to be in this spot over here. I'm going to go turn, 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 and let's do it again. Turn, 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 turn. So I keep reconfiguring this until I find a place that's gonna work. Okay. So if only I can turn this around, I have to flip this. Now, I was hoping to not use this strategy yet, but there is a strategy that I have of flipping this. I could do that. Because I can't seem to move this without moving this or affecting this quite yet. The only trouble is to flip this. We haven't gone over this yet, but it's going to flip something else too. It's going to flip this. So I'm going to do a flipping algorithm to flip this around. It's not really an algorithm, it's a strategy, which is going to come later. But to flip this, I'm going to take these three, I'm going to go up, up, down, down. I'm going to bring it to here, and this will flip it if I go up, up, down, down. Okay, now that it's flipped, I bring this back, and now I bring this back up to here, but you can see it's going to be flipped wrong, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to do up, up, down, down, and now we're going to do up, up, down, down. This is all just a matter of positioning, and then up, up, down, down. So keeping our wits about us, and now I do this one, but I don't want to mess this one up, so I'm going to bring this up here and flip these petals, or put these petals in. Up, down, down. Now bring this down. Okay, that's going to make a lot more sense later, but probably not yet. Anyway, the whole reason for doing that was so that I can take this guy and move it in to here. And now I'm able to do that. But I move it in here, I'm going to be using this in my flip-flopping. Remembering that this is all going to go into here. So I'm going to bring this into here, and I'm going to do it to where this and this end up in these two spaces so I can flip this back. And then I can bring things back should I need to. It's still early with these three sides, so I'm not running into other sides yet. Turn and turn. So these two are fine, so now I can flip this back like so. Okay, so this is flipped back. So now what I can do is I can just get this back in. Turn, 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 turn. This is only going to make sense to you guys if you know how to solve this. Otherwise, this is probably very hard to follow. But don't worry, if this gets mass produced, I'll do it again. Anyway, this will come in here, turn, 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 and turn. So now this is in. What I want to do now is take the center and put these two in. This you can see is already in. That is not my intention to have that happen that way. So I may even want to move it out, but before I do that, this is what I need. This is here, but it's flipped wrong. So it'll probably behoove me to get this out. So I'm going to move this like so. Because to get it out, I'm going to be flipping this with this and this. I don't want to flip this guy here. So let's take this out here. And now I can flip it with these guys. So turn, 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 and turn, and I move this back. Okay. So yellows and oranges, this one ended up here. That's not really what I wanted to do, but that's okay. I can try to move these in as best I can. Okay, let's move this guy out in conjunction with these guys. Turn. Oh, let me get my bearings again. That means I move this over to here. Oh, lost my bearings again. Okay. So this and this, but I don't want this to participate. So I'm going to bring it over here so I can have this participate. Up, up, down, down. And move this down. Okay. So all I wanted to do was move this out. I'm looking for any situation that's compatible. Okay. This can come here. Now here's the thing. If I put this in, this will be in the right place, but it's going to be oriented wrong. It's going to be so. Do I extend the effort to try to move this around? In other words, this just needs to flip. If I can make this flip, then actually everything will be fine. But I can't flip it because I'm stuck with this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to move this in. I'm going to keep it like that. And I'm going to take this and make sure that this and this, these two are up here. So turn, 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 turn. Have to do it again because this has to be up here. Turn, 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 and turn. And I only did that so that I can move this back safely, which is what I did. Now let's get this guy back here. Turn. Turn, turn, and turn. Okay, so what is my plan? Well, my plan now is I want to flip this. I want to cause this whole thing to flip. And I can do that by applying that same kind of strategy. So I'm going to flip these by using these over here. This is going to stay the same. This whole thing is going to be flipped by the end of it. So I'm going to go turn, 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 turn. Do one more over, and then go turn, 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 and turn. This is flipped, but don't panic. This immediately comes up, and this comes up to here. Turn, 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 turn. Now this is flipped over. That's okay for now. I'm going to move this up here and go turn, turn. Basically what I'm demonstrating is just how hard this puzzle is. So if you're not following, it's okay, don't worry. Move it here. Okay, now what this did is it flipped this around. I'm just going to flip this back. Make sure that there's nothing else that is participating, and there isn't, so turn, 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 turn. Now, this is actually a known strategy that I have demonstrated on the Rex Cube and will demonstrate as we keep going. Turn, 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 turn. In essence, that flipped this, so this side is still in, and this side is still in, and now what I have left to do is I've got this side, I have to put this one in. I have finally assembled that to here, and so this guy has to come into here. But as you can see, it's upside down. We don't want that. So to make it right side up, I'm going to move it into here so that I can use this guy. Turn, 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 and now this goes turn. So you can see it's right side up. Turn, turn, and turn. And we can just move this back. So at the end of the day, this side is done. I can tell because of the center. All these petals are in and the edges are in. This side is done and this side is done because all this is in. This configuration where you can start to see the structure of the cube emerging is exactly the same situation as this, where you have the cube but 3 sides in, 3 sides out. This is 3 sides in, 1, 2, 3, and 3 sides out. Center here, center here, and everything around them is out. So now we get to the next step, and that's where the challenge comes.